Hi everybody, Katie here from the Beverly Public Library, and this is the Quarantine Kitchen. We are making cake mix cookies today. They are super easy, super fun, great recipe to do with kids. So if there are any grown-ups at home with kiddos who like to be in the kitchen, this would be a great recipe to try. It's only 5 ingredients or more if you want to get fancy. We'll do the simple version and the fancy version, because why not? And the great thing about this is that it's super customizable. You can do whatever you want. You could do a yellow cake mix with semi-sweet chocolate chips for a typical classic chocolate chip cookie. You could do a red velvet mix with white chocolate chips for like a red velvet thing. You could do chocolate cake mix with peanut butter chips. You could do whatever you want. Get creative, go nuts. Nobody's judging you. You're in quarantine, you get an A+. What I'm going to do, because as I've mentioned in the past, I enjoy a level of chocolate that borders on the ludicrous. I am going to be using a devil's food cake mix and milk chocolate chips. And without further ado, I think I've said ado twice now. Let's get started. We are going to take a bag of the cake mix of your choice. This does have gluten in it. There are gluten-free cake mixes available, so if that's your thing, go for it. And you're just gonna dump it in there. Okay, now, you can do this in whatever order you want, but I've made these quite a few times. And my expert advice is that before you add the liquids, add the chips and mix them in, because if you add the liquids and then the chips tend to like stick to the outside and fall off and not incorporate as well. So take some chips, as many as you want. I'm going for a full bag because it's Friday and that's the kind of week I have. You're just gonna put as many or as few as you want. You can also skip the chips. If you want like a sugar cookie, go for it. So anyway, you're gonna just give this a quick stir to kind of coat the chips in the cake mix. Then you are going to take, carefully, 1/3 cup of oil. This can be any kind of oil you want. It can be butter. I think, using canola oil. You can use vegetable oil. I don't know how well olive oil would work because it will impart a flavor, but if you're into that, go for it. And you're going to add 2 eggs. This egg will not give up. Okay. Then, we're gonna start stirring, and I'm gonna give you my disclaimer, which is that before you begin, if you are feeling sick, you should not be preparing food for other people. You should be in bed getting better. Also, before you prepare food, you should wash your hands thoroughly for at least 20 seconds. I have washed my hands thoroughly for at least 20 seconds, and I'm feeling a-okay. So, we are stirring this up, and it's already smelling really good. And as I'm sure will not come as a surprise to you, pretty soon this is going to get a little too thick to be practical to continue stirring with a spoon. This is a pretty thick cookie dough. Fun fact, I've actually broken wooden spoons making this cookie. The jury's out as to whether that's because the cookie dough is so thick or because I'm just so eager to get these cookies into my belly that I don't exercise caution. So at this point, we're gonna get rid of the spoon and we're just gonna get our hands dirty because that's what we do around here, right? This is what it'll look like. Blah, blah. This is what it'll look like when it's all mixed up. It looks shiny. It's not dry. It's not wet. It's perfect. You are going to continue to get your hands dirty, which is why it's imperative that your hands be clean. And you're gonna just gather up some of this. Oh, there goes a chocolate chip. And you're gonna roll it into whatever size a cookie you want. That looks good to me. Now, this is optional, but you can fill a bowl with a little bit of sugar and toss the cookie in some sugar and plop it right onto your baking sheet. And these are going to bake at 350 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. These are a little large because I'm feeling a little extra today. And so they may need to cook for like 12-ish minutes. But after the 8-minute mark, just keep an eye on them. And you know, if you have a toothpick or a cake tester, just select a couple of cookies, insert the cake tester, and if the cake tester comes out clean, you're good to go. The great thing about these cookies, I'm distracted by how good they smell. The great thing about these cookies is you can eat them happily solo, or you can make them into a sandwich cookie. So you can go simple or you can go extra, and I'm going to show you how to do both. Okay, so by now you have rolled your cookie dough out into whatever size cookie you want. They look fabulous. You did such a great job. And here are mine. This made about 22 of this size. Obviously it'll make more or fewer depending on however big they are. One thing I will show you before they go into the oven. You can bake them as is. That's great. I am planning to show you a little gussied up version later on. I'm going to be showing you how to make these into a sandwich cookie. And if you're going to be making them into a sandwich cookie, you want to press down on them a little bit before they go into the oven so that they puff out instead of puffing up. So all you need to do is just very gently push down a little bit to just encourage them to grow this way as opposed to growing this way. Okay, so we will see you when these are out of the oven. Great about these cookies, among many things that are great about these cookies, is that they can very easily be enjoyed plain, or they can be easily made into a sandwich cookie to take them from good to great. So I am going to show you this optional step to make an easy kind of buttercream filling. You can skip this. You can make an alternative. In my family, we have experimented with making chocolate filling for these, which is like a lot of chocolate. We have made a lemon filling, and chocolate and lemon, so good. We've also made like an orange filling, so you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to show you a basic buttercream, but you know, go wild. The choice is yours. So you will need a bowl, a hand mixer of some kind. If you have a stand mixer, great. I'm going to be using a hand mixer. You will need a spatula, which I've got right here. And you will need a stick of butter. You'll need some powdered sugar, some milk, and some vanilla. So let's start by taking this stick of butter. It's not melted, but it's also not cold. It's softened. You can do this by leaving it at room temperature for a while. You can do this by actually putting the stick of butter on top of your oven while it preheats. That's a great way. You can microwave it for 15 seconds. You can also use margarine or shortening, whatever you want to do. You do you. You know what you like. So you're going to take a stick of butter or whatever, put it in here. Then you are going to add some powdered sugar. Now this doesn't really have a recipe. I'm going to estimate you're going to need, let's say like 4 cups. I don't know if that's accurate, but plan to have 4 cups. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to start with the stick of butter, and then you're going to add these 3 things until it is the taste and texture that you want it to be. So you're going to experiment with trying new things out. You can do it. You're amazing. Okay, so we're going to add some powdered sugar. And plop that down there. We're going to add a teeny tiny bit of milk to start. If you don't have milk, you could use cold water. Cold water is actually really good if you're using shortening. They blend really well. We're gonna add the vanilla at the end. So we're just gonna start blending, and we're gonna be breaking up this butter into the sugar. It's gonna get a little messy, so just bear with me. So this is what it looks like right now. We've blended the butter into the sugar just to break it up and get it kind of all in there. Now we are going to start gradually doing like a little dance between adding milk and adding powdered sugar until it's the taste we want. And then at the very end, we're gonna add some vanilla to make it even more the taste we want. So to start, I'm just gonna drizzle some milk in. I can see, just because I've made this before, that it also is gonna need more powdered sugar. And we're gonna keep mixing. Okay. So this is starting to come together and look like a frosting, which is awesome. I'm gonna add more sugar. Maybe 5 to 6 cups is more accurate. I'm flying by the seat of my pants a little bit here, but aren't we all? We're in quarantine. Okay, so now I'm going to take my clean pinky, dip it in here, and see what I think. That's really good. I'm gonna add a little milk to it because it's still a little thicker than I'd like it to be. This is going to be difficult to spread. So I'm going to add a little bit of milk. I'm going to blend it in, and then I'm going to see if I actually want to add some more powdered sugar. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. It's really starting to come together. I am going to add more sugar. You're basically adding the sugar. You're balancing these out to get the texture you want, but you also are going for the flavor you want. And you don't want it to taste greasy, which it can if you have like a disproportionate amount of your fat, whether it's butter, margarine, shortening. If you have a disproportionately high amount of fat to sugar, it can taste a little bit greasy, which we don't want. So I'm going to blend some more sugar into this. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to add teensy bit more powdered sugar to counteract the liquid that I'm going to be adding when I drizzle in, I don't know, like a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That sounds about right. All right, one more taste. Clean finger. That's perfect. So this is what it looks like. Let me show you with this spatula, which I actually didn't wind up needing, but you will need it to fill the cookies. This is sort of the texture. It's thick, it holds its place. Ignore my oven. It's holding its place, which is going to be fantastic. And it tastes the way I want. It's the texture I want. Experiment until you find exactly what works for you. So you're gonna let this sit until your cookies are completely cool, because with this cookie recipe, if you try to fill them too soon, the cookies are actually gonna fall apart. So we're going to be patient, which is so difficult when we're talking about chocolate sandwich cookies, but we're gonna do it, and then we will come back and I'll do a really quick little, here's how you ice them. All right, see you in a bit. Welcome back. So by now you have your cookies, which are cool, and you did such a good job. They look so good. And if you're going for this, you made some frosting, which looks amazing. I have a vanilla buttercream, but you can, like I said, you can substitute, you can make this a lemon or an orange buttercream by substituting lemon or orange extract for the vanilla extract. You could make this a chocolate filling by swapping out a 1/4 cup of the powdered sugar for a 1/4 cup of cocoa. The possibilities are endless, folks. And now I'm just gonna show you really zip how to fill these puppies. Okay, so you have your spatula. You're just gonna dip in, you're gonna get a little dollop of frosting, and then you are going to take a cookie and you're just gonna glog it on there. And you're gonna take another cookie of a similar size, you're gonna place it on top, and then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna twist it and push down very gently. And twisting it is gonna distribute the glog around the cookie, and you are going to wind up with a sandwich cookie like that. And it's gonna be so good. They're good solo, they're good as a sandwich, they're just really good. So you're gonna do that for all of your cookies. If you made an uneven number of cookies though, I regret to say that you have no choice but to eat the spare. I'm so sorry, there's just no way around it. So that's just, our lot to suffer. So anyway, I hope you loved this recipe. If you try it, please take pictures and share it with us on social media. All of our social media stuff is in the description box down below. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe to us. And happy baking, everybody. Thanks for watching.